celebrating you. Are we live? All right, there we go. Matt Hill, we're in the Permian Basin at the Permian Basin Oil Show. We're live thanks to TD Williamson, and of course, we've got Rattler Media, and we've got the Second Story. What? I had that. It's fine. JANIE SNELSON in the background coaching me, which I always need. Introduce yourselves.
So I'm John Rogers, and I'm the general manager of a chemical distributor called CENTRIUM EnerStar Solutions.
And I'm Tracy DeJohn. I provide marketing consulting for CENTRIUM EnerStar Solutions.
She came over here this morning and she goes, "Hey, I've got a cool thing." And you know what? We have found at this Permian Basin Oil Show that everybody has a really cool thing. It is impossible to walk around here and not be excited and impressed by all the innovation that is coming into our industry. And also, you did tell me he had an accent, and there's no way I'm getting this. So this is the Permian Basin International Oil Show.
Perfect. And I'm representing Wales today. So.
Yeah.
All right. So little history. I mean, this, for me, it's about not just our industry, but it's the people. I just want to have conversations and find out who you are and, you know, where you came from. So where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in a place called Llangollen in North Wales, one of the most beautiful parts of the world, but no oil. So I actually spent my career, I'm a chemist by training, and I've lived overseas in different places for about 30 plus years. Started off in Singapore working in the Far East, moved to Abu Dhabi in the Middle East for 5 years, moved back to the Kuala Lumpur, and then took over a company in Holland, which then merged with Champion Technologies, which is today the biggest company. Came out here about 23 years ago and had a varied career since then. For just under 10 years, I was BP's global technical manager for production chemistry. After that, I ran Clariant's Oilfield Chemical Group. That was a multi-nation, $650 million business. And then recently I joined CENTRIUM, which is a chemical distributor, but maybe with a twist. So we're part of a $200 million group that does most of its business in personal care and industrial. It's also an ESOP, which is an employee stock ownership, and they have a higher customer rating satisfaction than either Apple or Chick-fil-A.
And how many people work there?
About 200.
Okay, that's impressive then.
So the whole company, what is our tenet is we exist to be a blessing to others and encourage others to be a blessing.
Yeah, we were outside talking, and it's like we all kind of understood, you know, early on in our careers, and those are the people that you see very successful. Is how can I help other people mentality, that servant's heart. You, I want a little bit about your background, Teresa. How did you find this company?
Yeah, so I have always been in marketing and PR, sales enablement. I started on the agency side and then moved over to the startup world, fell in love with it. It's a very interesting, unique environment that you either love it or you hate it. I loved it, and so decided that I wanted to dedicate my career to helping startups build marketing, PR, sales. Knew John through working with him in the past, have spent a lot of my career in the chemical industry, different industries, but then specifically oil and gas. So when he started up CENTRIUM last year, I knew it was definitely something that I wanted to help support the marketing with.
And she is the best I've ever worked with at any company.
I'll slip him a $20 bill later for saying that.
BP have a big department. She's the best I've ever worked with.
It just comes from that, like, if you really and truly understand oil and gas and you love our people, you're going to do the best you can do, because you know how vital and critical it is to keep that foundation, you know, building constantly for energy education, for bringing in the next generation of young people. You know, you see it, he does too. If you have any kind of career path in mind, there's a job for you in our industry.
Absolutely.
And very technical and scientific.
Definitely.
You know?
And to your point earlier, there's so much innovation that is happening within the industry, but oil and gas is one of those places where there isn't a lot of marketing support. So many companies, I'm surprised when I talk to, don't have someone helping them with some of the marketing basics, and they're doing such great things. They just don't even know how to get it out
We
there.
used to not need it though, for real, as far as we could walk the halls of every company back in the day and meet, face to face. But we've gotten so busy, and you get in a cubicle. It's like, man, I really need to reach out to people and let them know it's available. So thank God, we had, if he stays in the lab and I stay out on the pad, who's letting people know what we do. So thank you for what you do.
So true.
So, man, you guys are doing so much in the lab these days, and our industry is begging for innovation. Give me some bullet points of what you guys are doing right now.
You're completely right. If you think about the shale industry in terms of equipment and laterals, unbelievable innovation. But what we found is if you actually look at the chemicals that we're using for frac surfactants and whatever, when you look at what the other industries are doing, like car washes and laundry, the people that are using millions and millions of gallons a month of these products, we're like using a fax machine compared to email, because we've always bought the same thing. And the oil industry says, I want this particular chemical, and they call it a CAS number, but can you give it me cheaper? And what we found is a lot of people don't know why they're buying it, because they've always bought it. So we've got some chemists and we've got the lab, and we can say, what are you trying to do? Well, say the detergent industry was using that 20 years ago. This is what they're using now to do exactly what you're trying to do. Change the wettability, change the surface, get dirt or oil off the surface. So in terms of innovation, it's bringing across other ideas and other technologies. It's going to give the biggest bang. You can get better performance a lot cheaper.
So, I've got friends, they have a few wells, and they, or acquire maybe an old well from someone. They're like, the quickest thing that comes to mind for them is like, well, the cheapest thing, the first thing we're going to try, let's throw acid down that well. Right.
That's right.
And what do you think they should be doing first?
Well, I mean, there's some times
some application, sure.
Yeah, with scale, that acid is the choice. But a lot of the time, if you've got a scale there that's covered in oil, the acid can't get at it. So sometimes you need a cocktail, but sometimes it's really understanding what are you trying to do, and then what are you trying to achieve short term and long term. And most of the time, it's about increased productivity. So I always think it's like having a sledgehammer, and well, can we get a bigger sledgehammer or a cheaper sledgehammer? But let's keep hitting it. So acid has obviously got great utility, but it's not always the solution that works. In fact, a lot of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah, you might make the problem worse.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, and what are you seeing right now? What is your what are the products that are really like hitting home runs for you right now?
So we represent a couple of really big companies, household name companies, and one of the things that they don't have the bandwidth to do is to get out to what we would call the tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4 service companies. And we're reaching out, as say, the technical arm for people like Neurion, and we can actually bring the technology to the smaller companies. So it's things like corrosion inhibitors. People think a corrosion inhibitor is like a corrosion inhibitor. It's like saying, I need a car. Well, what do you actually want? Do you want an off-road vehicle? Do you want something really cheap? Do you want something that can work in the back end in Alaska? So again, people are tending to go for the cheap product, or actually if you say that some of the really high quality products like Neurion make, they're actually cheaper in the long run in terms of less corrosion, more compatibility when you try to put things like methanol in for antifreeze. So sometimes it's coming in there, having the lab, we can show, well, look, let's test what you've got now and what you're paying for. Let's test against what we're offering you from Neurion. We'll give you our results, and then we'll pay for you to take them to a third-party lab and get them verified. But there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table.
Well, if you're saving people money and increasing production, so you're making them more money, and you're improving this maintenance cycles and keeping equipment from failing, I think you're on a really good track to really get a lot of eyes on you. And that's why you're supposed to be here at Permian Basin Oil Show.
It's a great show.
Come meet all these people, collaborate with each other. Even if you don't, know that you're going to have a client there, you might find someone to collaborate with. If you're another, chemistry company out there, another chemical company out there, see what you guys may be able to do to partner together. They might have something that you don't, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
There's never any surprises to me more what can happen here. Maybe we should all just live here together.
Let's do that.
Right. You're cooking. I want to see some of this expat food of yours. You've been around the globe.
But I'm Welsh. There's a reason you don't see any Welsh restaurants anywhere.
All I know is like Welsh and rabbits. That just pops to mind.
Cheese on toast. That's what basically that is. That's so.
John, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I knew you'd jump on here with me.
Thanks for convincing me.
Are we forgetting anything, marketing lady? Huh?
I think
we covered it all.
One point is a lot of the chemicals are sourced here in the U.S. and I think
Sourced
that's a big
in the
thing
US.
with the reshoring
Okay.
trend and tariffs. The global volatility with importing chemicals, being able to have things that are sourced here in the U.S. is another plus.
Yeah. The prices are right, and then also you're not lagging in time to get them.
Right.
Correct.
And by all means, if you need something custom made to your specs, they can do it too. That's the sharp key in this as well.
For sure.
And thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
How do people get a hold of you? What's the website?
CENTRIUMenergy.com. They can go there, find out more information.
And you probably have every platform covered now.
Well, we're on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
And then there's a few hours left in the show. So D59 if you are here at the show.
I want to see him in there doing TikToks in the lab.
You got it.
I actually think you need to stop by and do our money machine before the show ends.
Okay, there we go. There's a money machine out
that.
here. It's filled up now. Y'all come down the last couple hours of the show. Take care. God bless y'all. We'll see you next time.